And then I told you guys I'm going to make like 2-week prediction. It's coming soon, dropping soon. I'm overwhelmed, and I remained overwhelmed for 3 days, and I didn't deliver it for these couple of days that have passed, right? But do not fear, because Mita is near. Let's do this. Go. Hello everyone, goedemiddag to everyone, goedemiddag allemaal, Lweni Nonk en dan Mulisa, and bonjour, hoi, welcome to Synastry Expert. This is Mita, and we deal with relationships here on this channel, but I also do predictions, and I have decided how to deliver these predictions going forward in the most simplest way in terms of energy, because these predictions that I want to do, like the last time I did them, they were detailed, very detailed, and they are energy taxing, because I have to read the energies as well around what I'm doing. And therefore I was like, okay, instead of focusing on all the 12 ascendants, let me focus on what actually exists realistically on the channel, and in terms of obviously visibility, because there are those who are silent viewers, silent supporters, who will never come out, but they are silent nonetheless, and I appreciate that. But then there are people who are constantly like in my radar energetically, who are in my aura, in my environment, like spiritual environment, by practically supporting my channel, my research, and as I said in my post, those are highly the Virgo guys, Taurus, Libra, Geminis, obviously, and Cancer ascendants, right? These guys, you guys are just, I'm not going to ever say these guys, but I know it's you, right? Thank you so much. So I was like, I need to focus on these energies that I'm receiving, because I am receiving stable energy from you guys, like solid energy. This is like dedicated energy, whereby I find that you are so consistent regardless of what I'm talking about on that day, or how I may have delivered it, and you guys are just so consistent. And obviously it's the energies that I'm picking up on, and you book, you consult, not just here, but you consult, you are literally in my radar when it comes to energy support. And I wish I could just hug you guys, all of you. I just hold you, I just hug you, and I show you that I appreciate you. When I appreciate people, I literally want them to feel it. And you guys are so far, from me. You are literally in your other countries, like way far from me. I can't even go out for coffee or tea. And the number one rule is that you never become friends with your clients, right? So that there are no lines crossed, particularly for the work that is very personal like this, right? To respect the boundaries of respect, and respecting the information that you share, from your point of trust. And definitely I'm receiving it as well from the point of trusting that I will take care of it, in terms of not taking advantage of it. But the human in me wants to show you that I appreciate you, and I just want to hold you and hug you and just have you in my arms, to shush you, to hush you, to soothe your feelings or your hurdles and just calm you down, literally in my hands, in my arms, wrap you around me to show you that I appreciate you. Because sometimes words themselves, it's like they're not enough. Saying thank you is not enough. So I was like, okay, what is the most practical way I can show you directly, like the people who are in my radar, to say thanks? Because obviously I'm doing everything business-wise, cutting down the prices. I do follow-ups. I just, open up doors to give follow-ups, to be free to respond, but I still feel it's not enough. It's not enough to show you that spiritually I feel you. I feel your energy, like your support. It's just, I feel it, I welcome it, I appreciate it, and so I was like, okay, let me focus all these direct and intense predictions on you, for you guys, like literally cut down the quantity and focus on the quality, on the energies that I'm receiving and these people that I'm receiving. So obviously I was asking on the post. Yeah, sorry, I say all of that to say I focus on these ascendants because I want to say thank you. So this is like me paying back, for your supports. You guys, I wish you could understand. It's something so special to me because it's not about the algorithm, right? And it's not about numbers of YouTube, because realistically, it doesn't matter if I have 300 views, if I have 6,000 views, if I have 10 views, 20 views, 30 views. It doesn't matter at all, because it's like, I don't know if it's only my channel or everybody's like this, but it seems like it's like manually controlled, because I get the same result in terms of monetary and whatever. It doesn't matter how many views I have, I will get exactly the same throughout. So I can never be concerned about the number of views, about the algorithm and chase it. I have to stick to the important messages, or the messages that I feel like are important, or the topics that I feel like are important. But these are burning in my heart, so I need to talk about them. And because I already know that there is no monetary reward or something like that. It doesn't matter. So that's why I just keep on, or focus on just talking about what I talk about, regardless of how many views I get. For me, I consistently just keep on talking about my own things the way I want to. So anyway, let's get into the predictions. Yes, sir. But because we are in the different zone times, I am in France, so I am literally in different time zones with many of you guys. And so here I just paste our times in terms of differences. So I am starting on the 11th, focusing on the 11th of Paris time, but I know it's going to be still the 10th in the US and these countries, as you can see here, and it's gonna be later in the day in terms of the East. So that's the difference. So when I say date, I am literally talking about from midnight until from AM until midnight, and then obviously you can adjust in terms of days and times. But most of the time it is only the US that is like 7 hours, 8 hours behind. and then they also catch up in any case, right? So let's do this. So Aries, now what is happening is that we're still having a lot of planets in Scorpio, which is very important for you because this is your 8th house of where things are changing, where change is forced upon you, whether you want to have it or not. But this is also the house of healing. This is what I want to emphasize to you. It is the house of healing, because when you want to talk to someone, where do you go? You go to a therapist, you go to a psychologist. Where do you find these people? In the 8th house of Scorpio, right? This is where you get your healing. This is where you get your emergency care. When you have a cut in your house, when you were cooking, you cut yourself by mistake, which has happened to me, by the way. I literally almost cut off my whole finger and I had to call the emergencies. This is the 8th house, so it's not just the cutting itself, because it's also the cutting, meaning that this is a painful house, but then it is that pain that is sending us where to get help. It's sending us through the emergencies to get help at the hospital, to get help from the psychologist, to get help from your financial advisors, from different places, to get rehabilitated. We are not meant to be stuck in the darkness of the 8th house. We are meant to change, transform, because this is the house of transformation, into the solution part, the help part, right? So remember this, it is important for you because it is also co-ruled by the ruler of your ascendant, Mars, right? And Mars has now moved on into Sagittarius, giving you ultimate support here. You now have like a third arm. You used to have 2 arms. You've been having 2 arms throughout the year, and finally you have 3 arms now. How lucky are you now, Aries? Because now you are able to do more things for you, for yourself, for the people that you care about. This is the time whereby your muscle becomes a weapon. Remember, when we talk about Sagittarius, we are talking about a warrior that is holding what? A weapon. And you have that weapon with you right now. You are high up on the horse, just like the figure in the Sagittarius, that warrior. You are placed high upon the horse now, strengthened now, with the third arm, with the weapon now, with the arrow now. You are now able to aim at your target, shoot at your target, and get what you want. The 8th house that Mars was coming out of was in preparation. It was a preparation, and now knowing that the 9th house, in your case of Sagittarius, is about what? Is about luck. This is whereby now you come in and you get your luck yourself through what? Through being a warrior. Not a warrior, pardon. A warrior, right? Not a warrior. You're not worried. You're not worried. You are a warrior, a conqueror of the war, right? Sorry for my accent there. Sometimes it just goes everywhere. Now, when it comes to what you need to do, because there's going to be work, there is always work for every soldier. When I look at Aries, I just see a physical body who is ready to act at any given time, and with work that has a direction, because target, right? Remember, target, that arrow is being faced on your target, and you are strengthened, and therefore there is work, there is a direction that you must follow now, right? So when it comes to the moon, we do know the moon is going to be moving. It's going to be starting in Leo sign, and Leo for you is important. This is where your happiness zone is. If you have ever been wondering in terms of who's gonna be making you happy in this lifetime, it is your 5th house. Like I said in my short 2 days ago, I think now, and having moon here with that Ketu, you are now being supported, because remember, moon for you is a supportive graha, and having it in your place of pleasure, place of happiness, place of detente, relaxation, you are now required from the 10th until the 13th to detente. Have pleasures, but pleasures that are spiritually fulfilling, because there's Ketu here. So when you have pleasure, whatever type of pleasure, you know, you're going out on a date, you are just in the mood of intimacy, but there is some humbleness that is accompanying your mood right now. You are also now heightened to your environment. You are feeling the vibes. Everything is vibrating around you, and you are heightened to feel it, because you have the Ketu with the moon, which is also trine Mars, the supportive system to you. Now Mars and Ketu together, regardless whether they are in the trine or conjunction, they bring action, and this action, it is definitely calling you towards bearing other people's weaknesses. Like I said the last time, this message keeps on going forward. There is some calling, that is continuing, and you are having it. You are helping people. If you're not surrounded by a lot of people, there could be there's at least one person that is literally, placing all of their burdens on you, and you're feeling it, and you're trying by all means, to show compassion, to this person or to these people, right? It's like you are in this zone of understanding the depths of why people are acting this way. Why is this person acting this way? Why is he responding this way? Why is she responding this way? For some reason now, you are in that zone of sensing these things, between the 10th and the 13th. You are sensing these things, you are feeling these things, and this is going to come back again to you, this feeling, around the 15th as well. Like between the 15th and the 18th, you're going to feel these things as well. So there's this sometimes it could actually be like pain of somebody's going through pain, somebody that is going through something so painful, and you just feel it, you share the burden with them, and you're suffering with them as well, or you're suffering because of them, because they're suffering, then you suffer as well. So there is this sense that I'm seeing, particularly around the 15th now to the 18th, and just continue being patient, because as I said, you're strengthened, particularly now with Mars giving you the 3rd arm. Wow. If you could do so much with 2 arms, imagine what more can you do with 3 arms. Lots, right? Lots and lots and lots of stuff. Now, what I do see between the 12th and the 15th now, there could be some sort of a problem, a trouble that you need to give attention to, like and as I said again, it could be coming because of somebody else, because somebody else is suffering, is in trouble. They call you, hey Aries, can you help me out, but there is this certain certain problem that you need to give attention to. But now you need to be careful here, because what I do see is that there could be people who are intentionally trying to harm you emotionally. So it could be maybe something that they say to you in text, by text, writing to you, communication that you find out, or a gossip, some gossip, that hurts you emotionally, and you feel like, oh my gosh, really, here I am trying to help you, going all out, and you're doing this and this and this to me. But it could also be regarding your domestic issues, whereby maybe something at home is not going right, and then you get emotionally disappointed here. So there could be just that coming up, so just be careful about that, right? And because, as I said, it's a sudden problem, so obviously you're not anticipating, so it just comes out. But what I do see here is that you must remember that you have the ability to heal, heal yourself or heal other people, but you must share it. That's the goal. You must share it. So if somebody comes to you with a problem, don't hold it in, unless of course it's a confidential thing. But then if somebody comes to you and they want you to help them move, for an example, don't be the only one helping them. Call a friend, call your husband, call your wife, and say, hey, Mita is moving, can we accompany her? Can you share that problem, so that you don't hold all the sufferings of other people with you. That's the goal here. That's the way to get out of these coming days, right? So what I also do see is that, as I said, there could be that gossip thing happening. Yeah, if people want to say something, about your name, whatever, they could be trying to harm your reputation as well, but you don't have to respond in the way that is satisfying them, because you yourself now, you would be putting more wood in the fire, self-sacrificing your own reputation, right? So you don't have to respond in that. So this is what I see for you, Aries. Now when it comes to your feelings, throughout these days, I do see that between the 10th and the 13th, there could be a domestic issue as well that would come up in terms of maybe your property, mommy. So you need to talk about that. But as I said, you have the strength to handle things. On between the 13th and the 15th, this is where things are a bit critical. And now you need to give attention, because something must change or something must give. This is how people talk. Something must give, something must change. And it could also be about health at this time. Maybe you start to have some flu, cough, for the winter season, people, or something, you were waiting for to travel from, for your business, for your work meeting, and then they cancel that meeting, stuff like this, like hurdles like this. So between the 13th and the 15th, but that transformation that is going to be forced upon you, because when your meeting is cancelled, you need plan B. So that is the plan B that is actually going to give you a new strength or a new winning point. So do use that, do utilize that, of course, because hurdles only give us winning points at the end. Then when it comes to the 15th until the 18th, you start to feel powerful again. whatever hiccup you experience between the 13th and the 15th, it's now sorted out. You are again on top of things. You can think clearly, you are feeling supported, and you are in the right mind in terms of, you know, handling everything that needs to be handled. So between the 15th and the 18th, regardless of, you know, those burdens or people, whatever, you are feeling more patience as well. You feel like you've endured and you can endure, and for some reason your sympathy is heightened now. You are feeling so sympathetic. If you see anyone in trouble now, your heart is just going to melt and you're going to want to involve yourself. This is where you need to be careful. Don't sacrifice yourself too much. Don't take too much of others' burdens, right? But this is how you're feeling right now. You just want to be the warrior that you are, right? To stand up for what needs to be sorted out, your beliefs, everything. You are in shape to do that. Yes. Compassionate. You are feeling compassionate as well, which is very wonderful. Really, really wonderful. Now, what are you going to be physically dealing with in terms of, this was energy, but in terms of physical things that you're going to need or you're going to be occupied with from these days, from the 10th until the 15th, or around that 16th as well, maybe. You're going to need, or you're going to be forced to look at your expenses. So here you are going to be needed to evaluate your expenses. This is where you need to defend, you know, how much you spend, defend your money from just going through water and not seeing the results of what you need to do. But at the same time, definitely caring for someone physically is also possible, whereby you literally have to be them, to console them, to hug them, to shush them, and to make them feel better. So this is another thing that could be in your radar in terms of physical exertion of energy. I also do see that there could be a travel that you know some of you may have to take, and it would be annoying. Like, it's not like something you're fond of doing, but it's something like you need, that you have to do. You have to go to this place, you have to go see this person, you have to go talk to that person. So there could be that energy happening here. Now, with your intimate partner, your spouse, you definitely need to have a heart-to-heart conversation here, because I do see that there is information that this person will give to you, or they would want to give to you, but most of the time the information that they're holding, they are holding it back. So maybe they are feeling that you're too busy, or you in a state that you're not able to sit down and hear them, because you could be moving a lot as well. That's another thing. Could also be moving. Some of you may be moving because of work, or just literally, even if you're in the household, you don't usually go out. You could be moving up and down in your house, like moving from one room to another room, just moving up and down, doing a lot of stuff. So maybe your partner sees that and they feel like, oh my gosh, okay, my babe is not in a good space to talk right now, but there's something that they want to say, and whatever they're going to say to you is actually going to help you. But just be careful that it doesn't irritate your own beliefs or what you believe in. And even if you feel like whatever they're saying is actually testing my patience right now, don't burst out, because in the long run you will notice that, oh my gosh, whatever my babe said the other times, it was actually for my good. Wow, they were trying to help me, right? So, and again, I also do see some you being concerned with things at the house. So maybe you need to move some stuff in the house, furniture, buy some furniture, bring some furniture, properties, wash your car, take it to the car wash, stuff like that, do some work in the house. So those are the things that are in the actual vicinity for you to be doing, yes, on these days. So just do take care of yourself whilst helping other people. That is the big thing. Thank you, Aries. So for the Taurus ascendant, what I do see, because remember, regardless of Mars having moved into the Sagittarius sign, we are still having a whole lot of stuff happening in the 7th house. And for you, the 7th house becomes important, particularly in the subjects of love, relationships, intimacy. This becomes very heightened for you now, because Venus, who by the way is also your ascendant lord, is in that Scorpio sign opposite you, directly looking at you now. Of course, there's Mercury here, we have Sun here, we have Lilith here. So from the get-go, there is information that is going to be revealed by your spouse or about your spouse or your lover at this time, because Mercury and Sun together, they want to talk about anything that Lilith has been trying to place undercover. But because there's Venus here, we are saying that it is definitely going to be about your relationship from your partner or about your partner. So do watch out for that information. And what I also do see happening here is that there could be some change that is required from you to have. Maybe your spouse expects you to change a habit, to change something, or to do something together that is not normal. So if you guys have been eating at this restaurant, now all of a sudden one of you says, actually let's try this other sport right here. So there could be also something like that could come up. Now when it comes to the 10th and the 13th, starting from the 10th, because in the US it's still going to be the 10th, what I do see is that you would need at this time to maybe look at your responsibilities, like what are you responsible for is in the household or regarding your profession that is mingling into your home life. If it's home life that is mingling into your professional life, so there is that critical change, or not change, analysis. It's a critical analysis that you have to do. What is this that I'm doing at home that is affecting my work, and what is this that I'm doing at work that is affecting my home? So now you are literally making a survey, a mind survey, because moon is about mind and moon is going to be with Ketu. Ketu is about analysis, analyzing stuff, sensing stuff intuitively, also mathematically. So you are now starting to look at the emotions as well about some of the things, whether we're home or work life or public life, so to speak, as well. So that is on the cards right now. And also you could be feeling like you want to let go of a certain obligation. So maybe you were supposed to be tendering to something relating to the kids at home for some time, and you just want to postpone that obligation and say, okay, I'm going to do it on the other day. But the trick is that you have to do it. Whether you're feeling like, I don't want to do it right now, I just want to let it go, you have to do it so that obligation is not coming back again in the near future. Between the 13th and the 15th, this is an absolutely beautiful time to relax. If you want to relax, like to feel like you can enjoy what you've worked for, or you can enjoy your life. This is a beautiful moment whereby you feel like you are winning, towards your goals, towards your aspirations, your feelings, and you just feel empowered to enjoy life, like to relax without feeling guilty on these days. And what I also do see is that many of you may be feeling supported by your spouses or partners right now, or you feel like you and your spouse, you have the same goal, or you're working towards the same goal, or you can work towards the same goal right now. So there's this harmony in terms of direction that you're sensing on these days. This is a very beautiful time from the 13th until the 15th. And for those actually who are looking for love, you could find somebody right now who really genuinely cares about you and who would want to support you towards achieving your goals in this lifetime. So do take advantage of these days. I do see that between the 15th and the 18th, things start to be a bit demanding out of you. So you are demanded to give attention to somebody or surrender some service towards a partner at this time, your husband, your wife. There's something that they've been doing and you just throw yourself now because you want them to feel your support. This is whereby you are literally sacrificing everything in your own agenda, in your own planning, in your own life, to make sure that your spouse is feeling supported. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful sacrifice. This is a beautiful rendering of an obligation or fulfillment of an obligation. And actually you don't feel worried about it. You don't feel like your energy is being taxed. You just feel like, I have to do this. I'm going to do it for sure. So this is very beautiful. I do see though that you could also be impulsive, at this time. So do watch out for impulsiveness. So if there's something that you have to do, think about it before you throw yourself too much into it, particularly whereby there is some jealousy situations happening. Because remember, Venus is directly opposite you and is in Scorpio, so there could be some things that are making you jealous right now in your relationships. So do be aware of that. Like if there's some text that you see from somebody else, they're sending it to your husband, they're sending it to your wife right now, just be careful on between the 15th and the 18th, and just breathe and say, okay, there's this information I'm finding out. I'm going to be courageous dealing with this. I'm not going to be impulsive. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to continue showing passion towards my husband, towards my wife. I'm going to continue rendering my service as well, right? So there is that thing, because I do see, unfortunately, that for some, or it's not unfortunately, but it's like you need to be careful not to like make a fool out of yourself publicly, because there could be that chances that some people, because of impulse, they could do something that would be so embarrassing publicly, right? So there's that, and because when we're talking about the 6th house where moon will be transiting right now between the 15th and the 16th, right? I do see that there could also be some naughtiness when it comes to other people, right? Because remember, again, Venus, Scorpio, these things, they do come up, whereby, there's some strong flirtation or strong sexuality, right? That is either making you be attracted to people you don't want to because you're in a relationship, or vice versa, right? Whereby you find other people attractive and you are in a relationship of your own and you feel like, woo, what am I seeing here? Woo, gosh, just think, okay, I'm married for these days, I just need to lay low, even though I find this person irresistible. Because as I said, whatever is done today, it gives a high chance of public embarrassment, whereby you are being improper in terms of the public moral campus, right? And I do see though that there is a lot of success in terms of chasing your goals now. So whatever you want to do, you are having high chances of achieving it. So this is why I say, even if you are finding somebody that you're not supposed to be with very attractive and you want to catch them today, high chance you will succeed in catching that person. But in the later on, it becomes a scandal, or even later on of that day or a couple of days after, it becomes a huge scandal. So there's that thing happening here, whereby there's some scandalous affair. Yeah, so just do mind that part. Otherwise, if you're single and you are fishing, you want to get in the pool, catch a fish or two, you can definitely be successful right now, because your aura, your sexual aura is high. You are like a magnet now. When you pass, people look at you and be like, yo, this is a very beautiful person, or a very success person, that is passing by. So yeah, for those who have pure intentions when it comes to love, definitely beautiful success is expected between these days, right? So now what I do see is the people who are here to support you, because as I said, you would be like particularly these days between the 15th and the 13th and the 15th, you're feeling like you want to love and all of that and show your love. But I also do see that generally throughout this whole time, male figure people are there to support you. So if you're wondering who's going to help me, who do I want to talk to, who can I get advice from, male figures in your life, like intimate male figures in your life that usually give you some advice, are the ones who will be able to help you right now. But at the same time, when it comes to some controversies, right? Just be careful, because those as well could also come through those male figures, right? So I do see that when it comes to sleep, you could be losing a bit of sleep, particularly that time between that period between the 15th and the 18th. So there could be some lack of sleep here. Maybe you are just too excited about the things that you're doing or the people that you've seen. So you just like, whoo, I cannot even sleep. I have butterflies. I just met this guy or this girl and I just cannot sleep. So there could be a lack of sleep, so just be careful about that. Your husband or your partner will be getting a lot of support from his friends or her friends at this moment, so that's going to be very nice to receive all of that support. But I also do see that they could also be looking for clarification pertaining either to salaries or money that needs to come in at this time, or even a certain friend whereby maybe there's something unclear that needs to be clarified when it comes to your partner at this time. So thank you, Taurus. So for the Geminis, this is going to be a busy period in terms of emotions, in terms of mental state. It's just going to be a period that needs us to be awake, because we must remember that there's Jupiter that has landed back on our ascendant now. As much as Jupiter does a whole lot of good things, for everyone, because it's a benefic planet, but when it comes to Geminis, it is also requiring more than, what Geminis want to do, because it gets annoyed with all of, the youthful approaches of the Gemini. So what it means is that there could be either maybe your partner or somebody like an advisor, a counselor, a teacher, somebody whom you look up to, who could be requiring you to be structured a bit, or expecting you to have a certain structure, but because this is your house and you the host, so therefore you would be delivering things the way that you do, and therefore that person, your partner, your husband, your teacher, your professor, they find some irritation in you, in whatever you say, whatever you do. They could be critical at this point, and of course Jupiter blesses regardless of the annoyance. So it means that there are good things that will continue to arrive for us as Gemini ascendants, regardless of whatever is going to be taking place. Now, lots of stuff has been happening in your 6th house, because this is where the cluster is, and wherever there's a cluster, our attention and our energies focus on those clusters. So we do have also the 3 planet conjunction in our 10th house, the Pisces sign of Chiron, Neptune, and Saturn. What's best here is the Saturn being straightforward again, going forward again, and things are going to stabilize in terms of our professions, what we want to do, our social obligations, rendering our karma, but not so soon, not like immediately. Things are going to start to be straightforward and clear, more clear, when Neptune and Chiron, they start to also go forward again, because right now with the retrogrades, or maybe when Saturn crosses the Neptune, then things will start to really show up, because as long as the Neptune retrograde is facing the Saturn, it is literally affecting the Saturnian energy, which is profession, our public karma. So there could be some frustrations and things that are not clear at this point for us Geminis. Now, when it comes to the 12th house, because there's something also that's happening there, which is Uranus also retrograde. Now when it comes to Uranus, obviously in the 12th house, lots and lots of expenses for some Geminis, and also maybe some sudden visits to foreign places whereby you have to travel from one region to another region, or some small visit to the hospital. Maybe you go and have a checkup or something like that. People have been experiencing these things. But what's more important is that in the 6th house, there is the Mercury, because Mercury becomes very important for the Geminis. Now, Venus is also in the Scorpio sign with Sun, Lilith. Mercury in the 6th house is absolutely perfect and happy, exalted. When it comes to this position, it is exalted. It is wonderfully comfortable in the 6th house. It's able to work. So it means that a lot of Geminis are able to plan meticulously about their lives, about their future, about their shared lives, because Scorpio encompasses that loyalty between lovers, about the work itself that needs to be done, because the 6th house is about the daily work, also diets. So many of us are looking at our diet, continuing with exercising, all of these things, the gym for some. These things continue to be there. But there's Lilith here, and Lilith would cause a bit of laziness for some people, because when it comes to the house of health and you find Lilith, that brings in the rebelliousness nature, wanting to be freed from wherever it is, you could find that a lot of people who are supposed to be in shape who are supposed to be in shape and who are supposed to be in good health and all of these things, or look at that omen, me having a cough as I talk about the health, and they wouldn't be because of that Lilith, or maybe they get so lazy to look after their health and all of these things, or maybe too much duty that you have to do because Mercury is here. So it means that your mind is really into trying to get a lot of work done, and so quickly as well, because with the Scorpio, everything is unstable. You could be planning one thing and then next day that plan doesn't go as you wanted, because sudden changes are making everything mercurial to be changeable. And remembering the nature of Mercury, it is a changeable planet. So what even a small trigger of change will make the Mercury, the planning, the organizing, the analysis all go haywire, right? So these are the usual things that are being faced. Now let's zone into the dates and see what would be happening. Now, what's important to note for the 10th until the 13th here is that the moon is going to be in the 3rd house, and the 3rd house for us, this is our house of communication. This is where we become the happiest as Geminis, right? But in the 3rd house of a Gemini, obviously there is the Leo sign, and having the sun in the 6th house, which is obviously the dispositor of what we're talking about, is really asking every Gemini to check your health. Be attentive to your health. If there is something that needs to be done, do it now. Particularly with the moon coming between the 10th and the 13th in this house, in his own in the sun's house, and here something needs to be really given attention to, particularly the arms, the hands, the mental capacity. Maybe you forgetting too much. So you could find that a lot of Geminis, they're just forgetting stuff between the 10th and the 13th. You're like planning or you're talking, you're like, oh, what am I talking about? What was I talking about? I don't remember. Babe, what did I say? Right, because of that Ketu also coming here. So even the communication, you're trying to send a message and this, somebody says, oh no, I did not get it. You're trying to talk to an administration department. They say, we never got your email. You're like, what is going on? What is going on? I sent it. No way. You should do something about it. So these are the things to be expected between the 11th and the 10th and the 13th. Now, when it comes to particularly the 11th and the 12th, these 2 days, I do see, some sort of carelessness, when it comes to, obviously because also of the Ketu and the moon. So there could be some carelessness here. So just make sure you take care and you do what needs to be done. Even if you do send a communication, just reread your things. Make sure it does not embarrass you, because this is a Leo sign. So, embarrassment could come so easily when there's this Ketu being affected here. Now, you could find your partner absolutely beautiful, these times. And also, though, if you want to talk to people abroad, like in another region, another country, another state, and have some sort of contract, being done, this could be a good starter for that, because the moon, the mindset is here. And at the same time, we have the Rahu. Rahu loves Geminis. The Rahu works absolutely wonderfully well for Geminis, and as well as Ketu. These two nodes, they work absolutely wonderfully well for Gemini. So it means that when the moon is here and you want to start to make a contact, abroad, there could be a lot of success right now. So it should be like far away from your birthplace, and a success can be experienced between their 11th and the 12th. So make that contact right now. Now I do see that whilst you're making contacts with people today, do mind that your kindness is not taken advantage of, because remember, moon is so nurturing. But with Ketu, there could be some misunderstandings whereby your nurturing is taken advantage, and people just take too much, because moon and Ketu is literally taking too much nurturing without expectations of receiving back, or without people just giving it back as well. So there's that thing happening now. Because we have the Mercury and the Sun together in that 6th house, please be careful not to be beaten by small animals like dogs, like snakes, for those who have snakes, and stuff like the small pets. Just make sure that they don't bite you or scratch you. If it's a cat, like so some people could be experiencing those minor things between the 11th and the 12th. Yeah, so another problem another potential problem, which of course you need to be careful about, is indulgence here, because moon in Leo really feels like it's at the palace. It wants to spend, it wants to eat. And with Ketu, you could not even notice that you're giving too much out, you buying too much, you're doing things too much, you're speaking too much, all of these emotions, like you're giving emotions too much, or you're withholding emotions too much. So there's a lot of too much, because also Ketu it's about heights, the extremes. So y'all just be careful that you don't do too much or withdraw too much as well. So yeah, balance is needed here, definitely. Now, what I do see between the 12th and the 13th, here there is courage, definitely, that is required from us. It's like we need to, be able to look at the misunderstandings, people, contracts that we want, face on with courage, and that voice that says, I can do this, I was built for this, I this is my house, the third house, this moon is here, it's naturally my house, therefore fast thinking here is enabled. So a lot of Geminis between the 12th and the 13th, they're able to think fast. How obviously Gemini mind is already just everywhere, thinking about a little hundred of things at one time. So there's a lot of thinking, strategizing, and it's so fast. You're able to do it. But just mind that you don't touch and go. Just try to make sure you see it through, because with get to, you could plan, all of a sudden it's cut and you have to stop and you think about another plan. Oh no, I wanted to, and you don't finish planning for that as well. So those type of things just to be careful about. But lots of resilience. Bravo Geminis for the 12th and the 13th. Now, what I do see is that there could be, because again of the Ketu here, there could be some sort of, and Ketu in the fire sign with that moon, so there could be somebody who is backstabbing you. Why? Because remember, anytime when moon is in the original houses of Mercury, things start to get haywire. Like there are people who just want to blame you for things you've never done. There are people that you blame for things that they've never done. So there is some backstabbing nature that arises when moon is in these mercurial houses. So just be careful about those things, not to backstab other people. And for other people, if they backstab you, you're just gonna be like, okay, I remember, I don't have to react, because in any case you may not react with knowledge, because with Ketu, your reactions are not controlled by you. So the lack of reaction or the too much reaction is usually not controlled by you. When moon and Ketu are together, things are just happening, and only after it's passed, you're like, what has happened here? Right, so just be careful, there's no scandal or disgrace because of that moon in him. But what's best about these days between the 10th until the 13th? Geminis right now are literally skilled, or given that skill to uncover any secret. So it doesn't matter what type of a secret it is, you are literally zoned in, and you can even sense it intuitively because of the Ketu and the moon together. They just heighten the whole intuition all the way up to the roof. With the Mercury and Sun also in the Scorpio, goodness gracious, whatever is being hidden and you want to find out, you are now able to know what has been happening. There are lots of breakthroughs as well right now in terms of your planning, your aspirations, like even about the shared life itself. So there's a lot of breakthrough. So it's like, finally, oh my gosh, I can finally understand some of the things that I need to do, or how I should do them going forward though. So beautiful breakthrough for Geminis between the 11th and the 13th. And for the breakthroughs particularly is between the 12th and the 13th. Now, when it comes to just dealing with life in general, because it's normal for people to have some problems and issues, you are also able to be a silent soldier right now, like take things through. And you don't necessarily want to talk about things right now. You're focusing on just getting the results and making things done. Yeah, so you just all about work now, through it out, not about complaining right now. So this is not the time for that. And of course, when it comes to the 14th, like going forward to the 15th, so that whole period again, 13th to the 15th, the moon will move into the 4th house. And in the 4th house, this is a Virgo house, is a Virgo sign. Definitely absolutely wonderful for Geminis when it comes to the Virgo sign, because it's a mercurial. So it means that whatever problems you have at the home, normally you usually get by. It doesn't matter if it could be the worst of the worst problems, but Geminis usually get by somehow, somewhere, because it is the house owned by the same ruler. Now, however, when moon is in the mercurial sign again, like I just said, it was in the mercurial house and now it's in the mercurial sign. So again, some of the things could be continuing in terms of being blamed, or things just falling apart, or getting some minor frustrations here and there due to the relationship or the nature between the mercurial sign and their moon sign. So that could be expected at this time, some minor adjustments that need to be taken, or sacrifices, for some people, because wherever there's a problem and you have to solve a problem, you have to make some sacrifice that is required for sure. So I do see also between the 13th and the 14th, by the way, that there could be some discipline. So discipline that you need. As I said, some people could be feeling lazy, so maybe now you will also have to push yourself and just discipline yourself, or somebody else will discipline you, because Jupiter is on our ascendant, this graha that wants us to act in a certain way. So some sort of discipline, particularly also with the Saturn in the 10th house. Definitely there's an expectation either from you or the people to act in a certain way, or to mature a bit, or to speak in a way that is healing and maturing, and looking matured, and all of these nice vibes right now. 13th and the 14th, an acquaintance here, or somebody very close, or somebody we know, could be a form of an obstacle. So just mind that. So somebody that we know between the 13th and the 14th. But as I said again, with the Mercury in that 6th house, it's able to maneuver. Yes, not so easily, because the Scorpio sign and Mercury, it doesn't make things so easy. So, but due to the house placement, this is where we get the power. So this is like what? This is like being in the mud and then finding ways to get yourself out of the mud, and eventually you do find ways to get out of the mud. So that's how I can summarize it in a way that is clear and easy to understand, right? It is like you have a problem, but definitely you're going to get out of the problem. Like there's going to be a way to get out, right? So I also do see that at this time you're also able to confront any hostility that has been done against you, that you feel has been done against you. You're able to solve also conflicts that are ongoing. It could be in your relationship or with somebody else at this time, because the 6th house is about conflicts, and the Scorpio sign is about crisis. So both with Mercury here and that support from the Sun, you and Venus, you are able to literally confront your enemy or whoever that you need to confront, and not just confront them, but also bring a way to take the conflict out of your guys' relationship. This is what I see. Now, also, there could be, just obviously mind, about people who are very strategic, because remember the 6th house is also about competition and your enemies as well. So just be mindful in the back of your mind, particularly for those who work in the competitive environment. You are in a competitive environment, or even your relationship is competitive in the form that maybe there's a third party in your relationship. So just be strategic about it. You'll be able to come up with solutions, calculative and all of that. But of course, your enemy is also able to do the same thing, because the 6th house is the house of your enemy, right? So whatever is happening to you is also reflecting the response or the feelings of the enemy that is being talked about. So courage is what you have and is what you are able to show right now. And then when it comes to the 14th, the 15th here, so I do see that on the 15th the moon is going to move into your 5th house, right? 5th house of Libra. This is your children house, your hobbies, your pleasures, your risks, and moving here. So I do see between the 14th and the 15th there could be something that you feel like you're losing control over here. So something could be, maybe it's a project or whatever, plans relating to dates, your kids, whatever. You feel like, I can't control this one, I can't control this part of my life, right? So just be mindful that even if it feels like even if it feels like you can't control it, and you have to let it go or end it in a way that you don't want or you never wanted, so suddenly you have to let go of something, of someone. Just be able to heal from it, to use the Mercury in the 6th house and heal from it. And of course also you're able to command directions or ways out of crisis, like I just explained, right? So overall, when it comes to Gemini, you're in the mud, but you're able to get out because you have all the skills and the intellect. That's how I can literally summarize what would be happening in these few days. And of course you adapt. So you Geminis are always able to get out of problems because it's so easy to change and adapt and just get out of hard points and sports, right? Let's move on. Thank you, Gemini. So when it comes to the Cancer sign, the Cancer ascendant, now normally, usually, absolutely, expectedly, things should be, you should be feeling like you're supported. There are people that you feel right now are supporting you. Like when you tense, you're like, okay, this person and this person, I can kind of like rely on them. So there are these people that you are having in the back of your mind as people are supporting you right now. However, we must not go out of the points that your point of support, which is your 5th house and your 9th house, they are giving a whole lot of pressure to you right now. So your 5th house of pleasures nice times, feeling at ease, is giving you the romance or the romantic feelings, or maybe your partner is making you feel happy because of the Venus being here. You know, Sun is absolutely wonderfully placed for you in the 5th house, so you feel hope and you feel like you want to be out and be seen, you want to socialize, you want to talk to people, different people, you're just in the mood to socialize, right, and to talk about also, you know, deeper things. However, because of the Saturn that is now direct, you may be feeling like, okay, I need to chin up, I need to gather up my tools, I need a bit of seriousness, you know, and I can't rely too much on the pleasure. I also need to push some work, or maybe some authority is expecting quite a lot from you right now, and you're feeling that particularly between the 11th and the 13th. Between the 11th and the 13th at this time, you could be feeling like, you know, my head is just too hot right now. Now, what I do see is that between the 13th and the 15th, you are able to respond quite maturedly, you know, when it comes to your responsibilities. You are aware of what you need to do. You are, if you were like not aware, now you're becoming aware of what you need to do, and you're planning, you are organizing, you are literally looking every single detail, and you're taking your time to do these things. Now, when it comes to the 15th until the 18th, this is your happy time. This is your happy moment. However, you may be required to do some sort of work at this time, or some obligation. Something is going to be requiring you to reschedule, or to, you know, change a bit of planning here and there, because of something relating to home for sure. And I also do see that in general, when it comes to the 11th and the 13th, because Moon is going to be with Ketu for you, this is going to give you know, this sense of I don't know what's happening with my money, you know, or maybe the total opposite of now breaking down every single detail of what is happening with your money, because, you know, Ketu is going to break or is going to amend. So some people may be breaking down literally, but in like an obsession way, like, I want to understand each and every single detail. What happened to that money? Where did I spend it? Where are my receipts? You know, or my family members, what are they thinking about? But when it comes to Ketu and Moon, right, there could be also obviously some agitation coming to a family member from you, and of course you wouldn't be aware about this, you know, until obviously the Moon moves out. So you just be careful of those unconscious actions that could be taking place between the 11th and the 13th. And then when it comes to the Leo ascendants, now there's the Ketu on your ascendant and the Moon from as of the 10th until the 13th. So it's gonna stay here and obviously bringing some spotlight on you, shining some spotlight somehow for these days. And I also do see some leadership, so either from home or in your relationship. It could also be other people just looking up to you at this time for some guidance or some wisdom, you know. So there could be those expectations between the 10th and the 13th. I also do see though that you just need to be careful of fire. Maybe when you're cooking, just make sure you switch off your stove. Don't burn yourself, you know, those type of hiccups, because Ketu is a fiery sign and you are a fiery ascendant, and bringing the spotlight, shining the spotlight on you with moon and Ketu, there is some agitation naturally. However, great leader, great insight, by the way, because your spirituality is also very clear at this time. So there could be some event whereby you feel like, oh wow, this just came to me, you know, spiritually. It's so clear now. You know, it could have been an idea or a direction that you need to take. So there is some clarity between the 10th and the 13th. However, I also do see some sacrifice that you need to do, or maybe even extending yourself, you know, beyond what you normally do at this time. And between the 13th and the 15th, then the moon is going to move into your second house, and naturally this is where your focus becomes the family and your positions, your assets. But I also do see that between the 12th and the 13th, just before the moon moves into your second house, that at this time you would be able to carry your load. Like you will feel the strength of persistence and being, you know, just the capacity to literally stand for other people, to literally stand in your position, and for yourself particularly as well. So there's that. But at the same time, there could be some exhaustion, because, you know, moon on your ascendant may make you feel exhausted. You know, naturally, Leos are, they are heavy ascendant in terms of spirituality internally, like a lion. You know, it only chases something when it has to, but most of the time it's relaxing. So with the moon as well coming here, there could be some sort of exhaustion, you know, that may be felt between the 12th and the 13th. So yeah, just make sure, you know, you're up on your toes. And I also feel, or I also see that at this time you would be powerful, like in terms of your moral campus. So maybe there's a decision that you need to take, and in which you need to show your power. So for others it would be a physical exertion of the energy because of the moon being on your ascendant, and for some people it would be a moral crisis related thing. So that's what I see. And so now when the moon would have moved into your second house between the 13th and the 14th, at this time I do see some requirement for you to be serious about your finances, serious about possession. So there is this need for you to be serious, and at the same time, because moon gets exalted naturally in the second house, it finds its exaltation. You would also be able to have a confidant or somebody that you trust come in your vicinity, and it could also be a member of the family, and you just want to discuss something very important with them. So there is this dignified presence either from you or from that person, like that confidant that comes in. So and then another thing that I do see is there could be a conversation, a critical conversation that must be had now between the 13th and the 11th. So it could also be like very serious, like in tone or in emotions, because moon in emotions, but there's something that must be analyzed, must be talked about, must be discussed. So this is very clear here. And I also do see that the person who receives the conversation may be saddened a bit, or maybe you get a response from somebody else that is making you a bit colder at this time. But naturally, you are at your best level in terms of feeling supported, because moon in the second house for Leos is very supportive, and so you would feel that highly. And at the same time, you would also be wanting to maybe cook today, but at the same time this need to look at your health, like, oh, what should I eat? Is this good for me? Or should I eat too much? Those types of questions. I do see that you would be benefiting quite a lot from your family members, particularly the female figures at this time. And when it moves to your third house between the 15th and the 18th, the moon, now this is a beautiful time for you, because you feel like you can rely on your friends at this time. Wonderful time. And at the same time, I do see that there could be some psychic sensuality here, where you naturally attract people that are good for you, and vice versa, they get attracted to you. And at this time, you also needing to dedicate yourself to your friends, or they dedicating themselves to you. And if it's in terms of intimacy, then here it becomes a bit controversial. So just be mindful of that, like some entanglements, because as I said prior, when it comes to moon in mercurial houses or signs, there is naturally a scandal or a blame that comes out, or that comes up, whereby you complain maybe to your lover about something, or they complain to you about something. So yeah, just be mindful of that, and also be mindful of giving yourself too much to other people through compassion, because I see here you may need to serve other people. Just make sure you're also serving yourself at this time, right? Another thing that could come up is like not a scandal, but like information relating to a secret that is kept. So by secrets, we don't always talk about like deep stuff. It could just be some information that you missed, because the third house is about communication, and it is about information. So it could maybe like some information that you missed and that you needed to get, and now you get it, and it just comes up in your radar right now. So yeah, just be mindful of headaches at this time, and otherwise this is a day of doing what you have to do in terms of physical exertion of your energy. Like you have to push on your social obligations, yeah, particularly to your friends and to the young people in your family at this time. So Leo, thank you, and thank you so much obviously for the confirmation that Leo is really also here, which by the way is making sense in terms of my charts as well. So thank you. Now when it comes to the Virgos, quite a lot of stuff is going to be happening, which is very interesting for you guys. Now I just want you to focus on, or would encourage you to give your focus on yourself, on your partner, on your career, profession, and your home life. These are the stress points for you in these days. They need your attention, absolutely. Now of course, if you're single, then maybe in business, then these are your clients, but you know, the people that you are interacting with on a daily. So these become your critical points. Now, I do see that you could be feeling you could be like feeling like you have to constantly think about how much you've spent, how much you're earning, how much you've spent, how much you're earning. So that thought is going to be like coming back and forth in your mind, right? You know, obviously many people do this, but for you it's gonna be intensified during this time between the 10th and the 18th. So yeah, there's something that is like needing you to balance the accounts, so to speak. So you're balancing the accounts right now. How much did I spend? How much is coming in? How much do I still have? You know, all of this is just back and forth. So this is what I see. I also do see well, sorry if I repeat, you know, I just lost the other part of the work. But anyway, continuing. So between the 10th and the 12th at this time, so you know, you have the moon and the Ketu together in the 12th house. Be careful of obsessive thoughts at this time, or you know, thoughts that could be misleading your way or misleading you, because Ketu and moon together, they can exaggerate quite a lot of stuff, and they can make the problem seem so huge and so big, right? But with the Mercury in your 3rd house, you are able to communicate some of the things or visions that you see, and some stresses that do come up. You're able now to communicate them with the people around you, with friends, family as well. So that could be very helpful for you right now. But due to that Scorpio sign holding Mercury, some ideas could feel heavy to talk about at this time. So just you know, for some people to be mindful of losses at this time, whereby you know, some expenses could be made without really thinking about the consequences, because Virgos would be juggling, as I said, between like how much have I spent, how much do I have still. So there's a lot of that happening. So also it needs you guys to heal, because you know, the 12th house is also a house of rest, is a house of healing. So whereby you can literally take some naps as well, you know, in between the days, take some naps. And most of the people at this time would be able, of the Virgos, would be able to have dreams, vivid dreams, like you really see things that you need to do, you know. And those who believe in ancestors, you know, they would have visits from the ancestors. Basically, here you need to open your third eye. This is the message for Virgos between the 10th and the 13th. Your third eye must be awakened. You know, for a lot of people who don't know how this is, it can be experienced even during the day, whereby all of a sudden you feel like you have to take a nap. You don't know why, but you need to take a nap. Just go take a nap, because there are messages now that will come as clearly as the day. So yeah, do listen to that. And of course, I do see some temptations, because the 12th house is also a house of, you know, the desires being placed into practicality here. So it's either they and those desires, or some desires they get fed at this time. So you're just be mindful they don't take you over or you under, because the 12th house is really the house of addictions, you know, those addictive desires. But as I said, it's a house of healing, and with the moon here, this could be a very nice way to meditate, you know, throughout these 3 days. And of course, when it comes to other things that I do see is, at this time, your capacity to speak, but to speak things that matter, whereby maybe usually, you know, just talk about gossip because the Mercury is in 3rd house. But with that moon in Ketu, there could be heavy messages that you must speak about, that you must tell people. You must tell those who are around you, your friends, and, you know, family members as well. That's to be expected. I also do see that you could feel like there's a breakthrough in what you've been doing and in what you've done, but then it's a subtle assurance. All right, it's a subtle assurance, because Mercury in the 3rd house is able to literally do quite a lot of stuff, because this is a house of courage. This is a house of doing things, getting things done. And between the 12th and the 13th, you know, there could be a feeling of retaliation, either from you or from somebody else to you. You know, there's that feeling like, oh, okay, somebody's retaliating, either you or them, right? Now you are at from the 13th until the 15th experiencing moon on your ascendant, and at this time you could be feeling some agitation, because as I said, with the Gemini moon in mercurial houses causes, you know, some sort of hiccups. So you could be feeling a bit of agitation. You don't know why you're feeling agitated, and you can't explain it. You know, you're just like, okay, I'm just I want to explain what's happening, but I can't. Now, because of that moon again, there could be some confrontation, particularly because it's opposite Saturn. So there could be some confrontation between you and your loved ones or the people around you. So just do mind that at this time. It is obviously a time to continue to have courage and continue to be ready to take things on. You're able actually to just face anything right now, regardless of the agitation of the moon on your ascendant. Now, when it comes to the 13th until the 14th, yes, when moon will still be on your ascendant at this time, you are starting to be able to strategize and to think about your profession, definitely, but mostly about your relationship at this time. So that could be coming to your attention, particularly something that is not so nice, you know, to hear at this time. So that could be coming up, but Yeah, I mean, with moon on Virgo, there should be some strategic intelligence here being touched, so you're able to come up with a problem, I mean with a solution to the problem. And yeah, what else can I say? Just be mindful obviously of your actions during these days. So I do see that around the 14th and the 15th, because this moon is going to be in your second house, you know, you need to be careful not to hold money too much, or you know, want to spend out of your pocket like money that you don't really have. And then yeah, that needs to be taken care of here. And I do see that when it comes to the things we talk about, you're able to smooth people out right now, but at the same time see opportunities of having income. So there could be some opportunities that you're seeing here or that are being opened. It would have also been through your efforts, like something you would have done, or something that you do, like an action needs to be taken in order for this to materialize. So to take advantage of that. And between the 14th and the 15th, still moon is on your ascendant. I'm actually going back and forth. Still moon is on your ascendant this time. Your listening is something that you should be doing. There's some listening you need to do when it comes to your relationship or your partner or things relating to other people. So yeah, don't mind the stresses that do come. And now when it comes to the 15th and 18th, this is when your moon is in your second house, and this is when you may be spending out of your pocket. Yeah, so I just missed out the dates. Wow. Yeah, so Virgo, good luck. Thank you. Now when it comes to the Libra, I had actually recorded all the Libra stuff with the Virgo, because moon is literally with Ketu right now, so I'm also feeling it. And then I had to delete that on the Virgo side. But for the Libras, right, this is critical for you because you do have Venus in your speech, right, in your house of money. And so obviously some of you are enjoying some benefits right now. You're enjoying some monies that are coming in. You're enjoying good food, going out, just, you know, giving yourselves some pleasures of the second house, which is wonderful and beautiful and great to do. And I also do see that when it, like in general, here you become concerned about your family, or you want to take care of your family right now. So there's some attention that you're giving to them, or you're relying on them, and they also find pleasure in helping you or coming through for you. They really find pleasure in that, and they want to help you. So like I said the last time, for Libras, our family becomes important for you at this time. Between the 10th and the 11th, we would be having moon in your third house, your 11th house, from the 10th until the 13th. So between the 10th and the 11th, you may have to control some of your friends, or you know, give attention to that department. And obviously with some Libras, this is a matter of, you know, looking at your salary. Is my salary okay? Do I need a bonus, you know, or am I getting a bonus? So these could be highlighted right now. And I do see that at this time you may be able to also control any chaos that comes out of your network circle at this time, because some people could be a bit hostile as well, because the moon with Ketu there could bring out some hostility, particularly from your network of association. So I do see that, and I also do see that between the 12th and the 13th, at this time, something about your speech, something that you say, could be very decisive. Like you could be speaking in a manner now that is decisive. People find value in what you say. People want to listen to what you're saying. Between the 12th and the 13th, they really now hear you. Or those who have been pretending they can't hear you when you speak, now they start to literally hear you. So if you're in a board meeting, or you at work, in the meeting, your family as well, they starting to realize that what you say has value. Or if you want to influence some people, this is the days. These 2 days are good for that, because, and it should be in words. Whatever you say, it should be in words. So just hit hard, but with words. Now, what I do see here, and for those who are highly spiritual, as many people in astrology are, it would be a good time to pray. But when you pray on your knees before you say something very important. If for those who are having a critical important meetings or things that they need to say, pray on your knees. Sometimes we pray whilst we're standing, whilst we're walking, whilst we're driving, when we're sleeping. But for now, for these 2 days, the 12th and the 13th, you literally have to have your knees on the floor and you pray like that, and all your ambitions should be successful at this time. Just be mindful of erratic behaviors and strong characters that could be coming up because of that sun in the second house. Sun in the second house, originally owned by Venus, Taurus, could be feeling agitated. So some characters here could be coming out of the woodwork with a bit of aggression. So just be mindful of those. But of course, as I said, you are if you are a spiritual person, prayer is very good for you right now. But not just any prayer on the knees. Now, between the 13th and the 14th, this is when at this time, the moon will still be in your 12th house. As I said, I didn't say, but between the 13th until the 15th, this is when the moon is going to be there. And it could also be useful to pray, as I said now, praying on your knees and all of that, because the moon in the 12th house is in the house of spirituality. So what I also do see is due to that moon in the 12th house is some sort of a disappointment, right? Some disappointment could be introduced, but also high courage now, whereby you don't feel scared anymore, because moon in the 12th house for you, it is in the house of intellectual capacity. This is a Virgo house, so everything is being logically analyzed. So regardless of what's coming up, you may be able to analyze the situation and not let fear take over you. So you have the force here to be able to respond to anything that does come up at this time. So because of the moon again in the 12th house for a Libra ascendant, there could be some sort of feeling like, oh man, you know, I'm losing, and then the next minute you feel like I'm winning here, I'm losing here. So you're literally balancing the accounts, as this is the Virgo sign where moon is. So there's a balance of accounts that is happening here, whereby you feel like half of everything is going well and half of the other is not going so well as you would like to. So also be careful for those who are experiencing domestic violence and stuff like that. Be careful this day, because things could be escalating. So do take cover. Just protect yourself in terms of either planning, analyzing the situation thoroughly, and of course for those who pray. And because moon in the 12th house is in the house of hospitals and all of these things, isolation. So for the Libra ascendant, it becomes extremely important that awareness is taken here, or is given regarding to this part. Now between the 15th and the 18th, the moon would have moved on to being on your ascendant. Some popularity definitely here. It could also be popularity with your friends. Doesn't have to be like wow, big popularity. Now people are calling you who have not spoken to you. They want to speak to you now. Some attention as well is coming from, or it has to be given to your partner, or vice versa. But there's something about your partner today. Your relationship is coming into scrutiny between the 15th and the 18th. So do take care of that, and also make sure that the attention that you get right now, because moon on the ascendant does bring a lot of attention, the attention that you get right now, just make sure that you benefit from it, and you take advices from people that would be coming to advise you at this time. So with that said, with all of that said, I need to say thank you, and I'll chat to you on the next one. Be in touch. Ciao.